Yeah, this is People's Club. It's one of the leading clubs in Rwanda. It's happening.
The story of Rwanda can be likened to a biblical verse that says the stone which the builders rejected has now become the cornerstone. This is because to many people, Rwanda is synonymous with the horrors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, which led to the destruction of not only lives, but also the little infrastructure it could boast of after several years of conflict.
Wow. We can take photographs, right? Yeah. You can get that and take photographs.
But today, Rwanda has a new story to tell about a country of hope, offering one of the best investment climates in Africa, beautiful places for tourists to visit, and most importantly, first among first in the world. Studies done by the World Bank indicate that countries plunged into war can turn the ashes into beauty in 60 years. However, Rwanda has done it within a space of 20 years, thus making it the first in the world to achieve this feat. It is the first country in the world to have 60% of its parliamentarians being women, the first to have 98% health insurance cover for its citizens in Africa, as well as the cleanest city on the continent of Africa. The first in Africa to have successfully banned the use of plastic bags since 2007. Despite these major developments, this nation of 11 million people has not been resting on its oars and has taken another giant leap in the technology space by being the first country in the world to use drones to bring emergency health care to the doorstep of its people. This has made Rwanda a showpiece. Hence, my visit to the country to see how drones are being used to save lives. From Kigali, the capital, we travel for 1 hour 30 minutes to Muhanga, where Zipline, a US startup, has in partnership with the Rwandan government set up a site to use drones for ferrying vital medical supplies to its far-flung hospitals by air. The Muhanga Distribution Center has 3 departments, namely the Nest, the Flight and Fulfillment Operations. Basically, the Nest is the control tower, where the flight operators communicate to the Kigali International Airport to receive clearance before the drones are sent to hospitals in remote areas in the country to deliver blood to save lives. From the Nest, my next stop was the fulfillment center. This is where the blood is kept before they are distributed. But before one enters, he or she has to cover his shoes to avoid any contamination.
When I was yet in the hospital as a nurse, we used to wait for, let's say, an hour or 2 hours waiting for blood. And for this time, they don't wait because it is easy and quick. They get blood as quick as possible.
Prince Nyarko is among the 10 Ghanaians who are in Muhanga and are studying the Rwandans.
We get orders from the patients, and normally it's the medical laboratory technicians who make the order. And they request the blood units through 4 main ways. 1 is an email, 2 is WhatsApp, 3 is SMS, and the last one is a phone call.
After the blood has been packaged into these boxes, then it is handed over to the flight operators for them to launch the drone. Georgina Wilson is the first Ghanaian female to be trained as a drone flight operator by Zipline.
Coming here has given me an exposure that has sharpened my skills in observations, and it's also sharpened my skills in hands-on maintenance.
The other Ghanaian flight operators are Gideon Sian, John Baptiste Ewuzi-Ansah, and Emmanuel Akon.
What we have, it is more of a robot than a plane, so it has a mind of its own, so to speak. If it has any challenges that it can fly, it has a system built in for it to fly itself back home. So there are many things that it can encounter. Maybe there are high winds somewhere. When it encounters high wind, it's able to measure and detect, and then it turns back to here, and then it comes to recover. So the occurrence of us having a zip going to a place and having problems that we can't really solve is very, very minimal.
For Ghana, it means better healthcare delivery. I mean, now we are in the business of delivery just in time. when you have delivery just in time, you don't need to hoard. You don't need to keep. When you're not keeping, you are reducing waste. You are reducing expiries. So we will not need to be hoarding and a hospital keeping the blood because, they don't know when they will need it. While somebody else in another hospital is dying and needs it. This will solve that problem. We will not have it as part of us again.
This, where we slot in the package with the elastic band for injection. And I want everyone to see there's no camera. There's absolutely no camera on this. I don't know where the camera can be, but there's no camera. It's just for delivery. We slot in the battery here, then we attach the rings here. There's absolutely no camera on it.
Since December 2016, the company has dispatched more than 4,000 units of blood products to 12 hospitals, red blood cells, platelets, and plasma that would have otherwise needed to travel by a treacherously tangled road network, losing precious hours in the race to save lives. But now, a journey that takes a round trip of 6 hours for an ambulance to go to the National Blood Transfusion Center in Kigali and return to hospital where the patient is in need of blood will take 25 minutes for the drone to deliver and return to base. The next place to visit was the Ruhango District Hospital to see at first hand how the drones launched from Muhanga get to the end users of the blood at the hospital. The journey from Muhanga to the Ruhango Hospital was about 1 hour 45 minutes. I must say it was tiring because in Rwanda, one cannot drive through town beyond 60 kilometers per hour. But it gave me the opportunity to see the countryside of Rwanda. We arrived at Ruhango Hospital about 4:30 p.m. and we waited for about 15 minutes. Then we were alerted about the arrival of the drone dispatched from Muhanga to bring blood to the hospital.
He dropped the thing.
The medical doctor in charge of the Ruhango Provincial Hospital is Dr. Richard Usabuyaniza.
If you could be in risk of losing a patient because of bleeding, because of anemia, you are safe because anytime you need blood, you will get it.
Feli Kemenyi is a Rwandan journalist who has for the past 2 years been following how this technology has impacted on the health sector of his country.
Impact from what I've seen in my coverage is substantial in terms of health service delivery, especially to the remote hospitals in Rwanda, which were finding it difficult to get blood from the National Blood Transfusion Center in Kigali to be able to get back and intervene to their respective patients. So they're getting it faster from the interviews I've had with the health care providers.
Ghana is the next country in Africa after Rwanda to adopt the drone technology to distribute blood and other essential drugs to health facilities across the country.
We are in the process of putting up the first distribution center, which is situated in a little town called Nyarko, just about 5 kilometers outside of Suhum. The center in Suhum has the ability to cover most parts of the eastern region, some parts of Greater Accra, some parts of Central, some parts of Ashanti region, and even some parts of the Volta region.
How many zipline distribution centers will be built in Ghana?
In total, we are looking across the 4 centers, hiring about 200 skilled labor force. So that would mainly compose of engineers, healthcare professionals like pharmacists, biomedical scientists, because our operations mainly run around engineering and healthcare. But indirectly, what we do is we end up creating a lot of other jobs. For instance, the packaging, manufacturing process. We actually hire local people from the community we work in so that we train them on how to put it together.
In December 2018, Parliament approved the agreement between the government of Ghana and Zipline the American startup, to replicate its good work in Rwanda in Ghana. The project was started by the close of the second quarter of 2019. Edward Nyarko, reporting for GBC24.